Stories are actually the center of all of where content's headed. All I'm doing is looking for ways that those stories come to life in unique ways. But I look to commentaries. So wherever there looks like there's some trends happening, what does that actually mean, and what does that mean for me as a data point of one, and will that emulate for others? And that's where I get excited, and that's where the heart of storytelling starts for me, is that then how do I contextualize that in the real world that people get? Because what I do is contextualize. So take something that looks like it is going to happen, a thing, and turn it into something that people can digest as a thing.
So one of the cool things is everyone's talking big data, everyone's talking native, programmatic, video. You know, as you start to think about it, one, let's start with data. You know, how does data play in kind of creating that contextual experience that you talk about?
So big data, I think, is a term that's a little overused, and it's overused because everyone's got big data. But how do they actually make that big data become useful data? How does it actually come down to something that qualifies for how data can be used? Let me give you an example. If somebody's going to give you an amount of information, which is, you know, tapping into their privacy, and there's a trust issue, and they've bridged that, and now they trust you. They're going to give you data, and you need to give data back to them in a far richer experience to say, oh my God, the value that I've received is better than the value I've put in. As a creative, programmatic originally for me was like, oh my God, what does this mean? More managing by spreadsheet? What it does is it allows me to understand my creative can self-heal. So I don't have to think about the performance metrics so much. I have to worry about how I iterate my creative so that the performance is even better. And that's something that programmatic allows us to do. Programmatic is definitely here to stay. It's not going to go away. I think it's kind of a weird name. I don't know what I'd replace it with. But it is this amazing machine learning that allows you to be able to enable better creative. And that's all I care about. Can we get down to better creativity?
So that's interesting, because data and creativity, usually it's like polar opposites. You got left and right brain, but clearly you're using, you know, data to inform. You're excited about programmatic. Do you think it commoditizes creativity, or does it, you know, seismically change creativity?
So way back in the day when we invented the 728 by 90, that banner ad was really designed probably for direct response, not necessarily for brand advocacy, right? Can we do something that feels like it's more authentic across all the places that people actually go in their digital day? Because we don't just go to one site. So native is great for one particular destination, but it potentially is confusing for the sum of the parts. And what I mean by that is this: sum of the parts greater than the whole potentially if they arc up to one big story. And if the big story makes sense from a storytelling perspective, then creativity can be better. So whether you run a 30-second TV commercial, heaven forbid, and you do all these little pockets and pockets and pockets and pockets and pockets of creativity, if it all rallies up to the messaging and it all sort of joins beautifully, then that's utopian. So the creativity is just becoming more interesting in these different formats because people are playing in different places today, and fragmentation is accelerating. So meeting consumers where they need to be met is hard. So as creatives, we're trying to think about different ways to be creative, and we're looking at different ways to do that.